Hey, good morning, Gulfhaven family. Pastor Chris here. It is Sunday morning, March 29th. Today is the second Sunday that we will be missing our public Sunday morning worship service. And so I wanted to send this out. My plan is to send this out before the normal church time. Send it out via the text message announcement system that I've recently got set up. And send this out to everyone, and then maybe instead of our church gathering, y'all can have a kind of private devotion time, whether it's alone or with a small group like a family. It's not going to be anything major, just something very short and simple. Y'all can watch this video together first if you'd like, and then I'm going to offer a one chapter of the Psalms to read and maybe meditate on or discuss together, and then a video to watch. The video is about 35 minutes long. It's one I watched yesterday, and it's one about Christians and how we should be in the situation of the coronavirus and everything going on. What should be our maybe our outlook would be a good way to say it. And so hopefully it wouldn't take you more than maybe 45 minutes for all of that, but I think it'd be a real blessing. The video is about 35 minutes long, and so that'd be the biggest chunk of it. But it's by a New Testament scholar, historian, Bible scholar, a brilliant guy, N.T. Wright, and so it's his response. And I watched it yesterday and was just really blessed by it. But before we get into the devotion and what that is, I wanted to go ahead and give out the Bible reading plan for this week. And it is something that I pray that all of you would join me in doing. I know many have said they are doing it, and whether you see fruit from it now or not, it is a spiritual practice that will have pay many dividends in the future to your spiritual walk and your growth. This is something that I'd like the youth to be doing. I'd like the adults to be doing, and if you have children that can't read yet, figure out a way to read a chapter a day. It can take just a few minutes to read a chapter per day. We do it with our kids. With this time home, we've been able to get caught up because I was a little bit behind on my out loud reading to them with the Bible plan, but we are now caught up. So anyway, this week it is Genesis 41 through 47. Genesis 41 through 47. So I pray that you would join me in that. So now for our devotion time this morning, the psalm that we're going to have everyone read is Psalm 88. And so after the end of this video, you can sit down with your family or alone and read Psalm 88. You can meditate on it or discuss it some. And but what I wanted to be presented is, as you read it, you'll see something that's in the Psalms at least is very prevalent. And it's these lament psalms. It's these psalms that in the midst of crisis, whether it was an individual crisis or community crisis, these prophetic individuals, these psalm writers, would write these words as a kind of cry out to God, a kind of a righteous complaint. It's something where he would go to God and be really honest with how the community felt, with how he felt, and he would just lay it out before God, and he was righteous in doing so. And the righteousness came because instead of taking that complaint, let's say you're in a situation and you're a Christian and you considered in God's family a son or daughter of God, and then you find yourself in a really bad situation, and we have this belief that God is all good and all powerful and sovereign and has all these things in his hands and in his control, and then we find ourselves in the midst of pain and suffering, or the midst of financial suffering, or whatever. And right now we're going through this coronavirus thing, and moving around is really restricted. A lot of things are closed. There's a whole lot of uncertainty. Instead of taking that information, being upset about it and upset toward God, and then going and complaining to others, which is what ancient Israel did in the wilderness, right? They brought their complaint and they just spread it around to one another, murmuring and grumbling and complaining, and it caused a big downfall for them. It was a it was a very, very awful sin for their lives. Whereas these psalms are these prophetic individuals taking all of their complaint that they want to have and then going and laying it before God and being super honest. And this psalm is so great, Psalm 88, because just it ends without any fixing it, right? It ends and it's like, where's God's answer? Where's the result? Where is the response where God fixes it? And it's not there. It's just he's in the midst of the pain. He's in the midst of loneliness, which is what a lot of people are feeling. People that are used to, being really socially active right now are finding themselves, quarantined and self-isolated. And this is some of that you'll see in this psalm. But in the middle of it, I'll just read one verse from it that is right. It's just right. It says, verse 13, "As for me, I cry out to you, O Lord. In the morning, my prayer confronts you." And so what he's doing is he's bringing it all to God and laying it before God. And it is pleasing to God when we bring our complaint before him. And this is something even Jesus did. The book of Hebrews will talk about it, and this is my paraphrase, it'll say, with loud cries and tears, he offered up petitions to God. He offered up prayers to God with loud cries and tears, right, to him who is able to save him. And so it's righteous to go to God because we're then recognizing God's sovereignty. It's recognizing God's power and his authority, But then it's like saying, take this cup from me, like Jesus prays, nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done. It's submitting to his rulership over our lives. And it's just, all right, I'll end the devotion with one more verse from Philippians, and then I'll let y'all go watch that other video from Dr. Wright. But this is Philippians 4, verse 6. And this is Paul talking about prayer and petitions and as a way to combat anxiety. And he says, this is Philippians 4, verse 6. "Do not be anxious about anything. Instead, in every situation, through prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, tell your requests to God." And this is it. Instead of having, right, when the anxiety is there, instead of letting that fester, he says, go to God and bring your prayers and petitions to God with thanksgiving. Like, make sure you got some thanksgiving mixed in there, but he's just saying, bring it to God. And this is what the psalmists are doing, right? They're in the midst of crisis. They go to God and they bring it all to him, and they let him have it. So with that, I pray that y'all have a blessed Sunday, a happy Sunday, peaceful Sunday. I'm going to put the link to the video that I'd like everyone to watch if possible. 35 minutes long. The title of it it's called "Tom Wright on Being Christian During Coronavirus." I'm going to put the link in the description below this video. So in the description of this video, there'll be a link. If you're watching this video on Facebook or on the website, you may have to click the video for it to bring you to YouTube, because the description is going to be at the YouTube link. But in that, there'll be a link to this video, to the video that the coronavirus video. So I pray it's a blessing. Love you guys. Miss y'all. And hopefully we can meet together very soon. Love you. Bye-bye.